Good evening, and welcome to Kean University's beautiful Enloe Recital Hall. I'm Matthew Halper, the chair of the Department of Music. Thank you for joining us tonight. I always say one of the privileges of being the chair of the Department of Music is in addition to educating young people in their careers towards the arts and education, is being surrounded by incredible studio musicians, my faculty who teach the lessons, and tonight is no exception. James Musto, Jimmy as we affectionately call him, Professor James Musto runs our percussion ensemble at Kean University, and he is he's a superstar. I've been working with him for decades. You can see him regularly with the New Jersey Symphony and at NJPAC. You could also see him at Madison Square Garden with the Who playing timpani. I have seen him. He's fresh off a tour with the Percussive Arts Society, a tour of China this summer where he was an invited artist and a lecturer. And he did make some connections with our Kean Wenzhou campus. So he's been doing a lot of very interesting things from the rock world to the classical world to the world music scene. So it's a great privilege and pleasure to work with Jimmy. So without further ado, please welcome James Musto and the Kean University Percussion Ensemble.
Here we go. welcome everybody. Victor, I don't know if you know this, but I asked for snow today, not rain. I don't know how that happened. I thought it was going to snow today, but anyway, I'm glad you're all here. You braved the rain, you came out, and we have a great show for you tonight. Some really exciting stuff. As you can see, the stage is full of interesting percussion instruments from around the world. This is more, rather than just a music event, this is kind of like a geography and a history event too. The world of percussion is so vast and so varied that all these instruments require some kind of a focus on the background of where they're from and how they're played. So as you can see, percussion, this percussion ensemble is not an instrument, it's a field of instruments. So the first tune we just played for you is, of course, Sleigh Ride. If you haven't heard that song already like 100 times since Thanksgiving or maybe before, then you probably have not heard, you're not listening to the right radio station. Anyway, Sleigh Ride, though, interestingly enough, is a piece composed by a man named Leroy Anderson, who composed many interesting novelty tunes in the United States. He was from Boston, and he went to Harvard. He played trombone in the Harvard University Band, and he became an arranger and a composer in his own right. He worked a lot with Arthur Fiedler, who was a very prominent conductor of the Boston Pops. So they did a lot of material like this. So even though it may sound like it's trite, maybe not a very complicated piece of music, it really is. There are some very interesting, what we call modulations that change key signature and interesting melodic ideas that he used. He was a brilliant man. He knew how to connect music to people. It was not an abstract art form for him. In the same way as he admired people like Duke Ellington and Louis Armstrong, who were people that could reach an audience with their music. And that's what Leroy Anderson wanted to do. As a matter of fact, he became so popular that Arthur Fiedler decided that he was not going to let him conduct the Boston Pops anymore, because Arthur Fiedler decided that Leroy Anderson was getting a little too popular in his own right. So, and that's show business, folks. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, the whole concept of Sleigh Ride for this time of year, it's timeless. It's a holiday song. It has really nothing to do with, there's no religious context to it. It's Currier and Ives, it's Norman Rockwell. It's these great American artists that create a landscape, or in this case, a musical picture for you of this time of year, even though it's not snowing. I'm sorry. I want to the next piece we're going to play for you, The Winding River. A good portion of tonight's program is based on the music of Asia, and this piece is no different. The scale patterns that you'll hear in this are distinctly Asian, and the name of the piece, Winding River, pertains to the importance of rivers throughout Asia. The composer wanted to capture the essence of the river in Asia, now its power, its majesty, its calmness, and how important it is for providing cultural connections to people, commercial connections to people, and geographical connections to people. So it's a very interesting piece, and you'll hear the Asian flavor, and once you have the gong played by Anthony Dotro, you create that character of Asia. So I hope you enjoy The Winding River. Thank you very much. That's Aiden Horn playing marimba, Nadia Shaw on the microphone, cellist, and yeah, Kyle Foster playing timpani. That's the only time you're going to hear timpani tonight. Kyle's here. And I'll introduce you to the rest of the folks as we go along here. But yeah, a very interesting piece, and I think it kind of sets out the flavor for the rest of the program this evening. So the next piece we're going to play is a marimba solo. So this piece is by Stephen Myers. Stephen Myers, believe it or not, a former member of this group. Stephen Myers graduated from here, teaches in Union, New Jersey now. And yeah, no, we're very proud of Steve. He is a wonderful student, a great example of the kind of student we have here at Kean University musically. And Steve, back in the summer, I think, sent me this email. I was in China this summer, by the way, in case I didn't mention that already. I was in China for a month during the month of August. My wife and I went. I was invited to a convention, the Percussive Arts Society Convention, International Convention in China, in Beijing, actually, and I did a concert in Nanjing, and we went to Xi'an, and then we went to Shanghai, which I'll tell you about later. But in the meantime, Steve wrote to me and told me he had this piece written. And I thought, well, we don't really have anybody that can play it right now, so I wasn't sure what to do about it. And one of my students, Charlize Fernandez, said to me, Professor Musto, would it be okay if I play a marimba solo on the concert? I said, sure, what is it? She said, it's called Red Panda. Steve Myers wrote it. I said, oh, that's perfect for this. She said, yeah, I thought so, being that, you know, the theme of the concert is mostly an Asian music theme. So she asked if she could play it, and I coached her a little bit on it, and she sounds fabulous. She's a wonderful musician, and the piece is really terrific. Steve, do you want to say anything about Red Panda while you're here? I mean, I looked it up, and I looked up Red Panda. It's really not a panda at all. It looks like a red raccoon, right? I mean, that's really what it is. And of course, it's endangered. You know, it's an animal from the western part of China, more the Himalaya region of China. And beautiful little animal. And of course, you know, as many animals are in China and Asia, there are all kinds of mystical connotations applied to these animals, which sometimes can be dangerous because, you know, if you think the animal can cure certain diseases, or if the skin makes you stronger or something, then the animals are hunted and, you know, they're abused by the population. So this animal is a beautiful animal, and I think the piece is really sweet and really nice, very accessible for an audience like you guys. So I decided that we should do the Red Panda by Steve Myers, and he doesn't want to say anything more about it, and I don't blame him. I think I said enough. So, ladies and gentlemen, I bring to the stage Charlize Fernandez to play the Red Panda by Steve Myers. Fabulous, wonderful job. Charlie, what's your major? She's a psychology major. You don't have to be a music major to be a wonderful musician. That is something that is inside of you. And if you come here as a music major, well, then you're developed and nurtured and you mature into a professional musician. But you don't have to be a music major if you want to join any of the ensembles here at Kean University. You don't have to be a music major. You can join an ensemble here and play any instrument you want, or do theater, or sing, and you will be welcomed in the ensemble. So, Charlize, thank you again. Wonderful. Just remember who made you famous. Okay, thank you, Charlize. Okay. The next thing we're going to do actually is something very near and dear to me, and it's a song that I've known since I was your age. And this next song is by a band called The Police. And they were very popular in the 1980s, and Sting still is today, very important person on the pop music scene. And I have this instrument it's called a handpan. And this is by LBP Percussion, this handpan. And the handpan is basically an instrument that is, it's like a steel pan, a Caribbean steel pan. The only thing is it's inverted. It's turned inside out. And so you can see that it's shaped like some kind of it looks like a lunar module or something that came from a UFO that landed in the Kean parking lot. But it's not, it's a musical instrument. And yeah, I've been associated with this company for a little while, so we have been able to use this instrument on, I played it last year again, and then this year I was thinking about this song, Message in a Bottle. And I was thinking about this song not as just a pop song, but what the message is in the bottle. And it's a very deep song, and it's not just that it's more relevant today, it was relevant when it was written, but the idea that it was something that was not maybe paid attention to as much. It's about depression, it's about solitude, it's about feeling like you're alone, which I know today in the school environment, college environment, sometimes that is a very prevalent sensation for students that feel like they're very pressured with things for perfection, and you're the only one. And if you feel that way, I have news for you, you are not the only one. I have many students that I speak to here that just need to be told everything is going to be okay. I have been in that position myself, and I just feel like this is such a relevant song for the college environment. And I asked my student Aiden Horn, who I know is a fantastic guitarist, to join me, and Gio, where are you? Gio is going to come out and say, don't stand behind me, Gio, come on out here. And Gio is going to sing it for you, and you'll probably hear me in the background singing along too. So this is Message in the Bottle, and it's a very prominent, poignant song, I should say, for our time and for all time. So we hope you enjoy it. And let me get situated here, and we'll be ready in a second. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, because he wasn't here earlier. And Theo Spielman is going to join us on a little percussion, a little egg shaker. Is that what you have there in your hand? Yeah, a little egg shaker. He's gonna join us. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to leave you out. It's not intentional. All people. Let's move you over a little bit this way.
Now it's serious.
Theo Margo, Aiden Horn, Theo Spielman. My name is James Musto. James Musto, Professor James Musto. Was Regis at Chongguo in August, and we had a wonderful time. The people there, Chongguan and Hao, they are so wonderful. Wenzhou Shuaxing Zanali Zhili. Wenzhou Shuaxing? Wenzhou Shuaxing? No Wenzhou people here. Okay. Anybody? Okay, that's okay. Thank you for translating for me. No, I'm just glad you understood me. That's the most important thing. And by the way, I hope you all like my Chonghua Shanxian, right? Yeah. Right from Beijing, Xicheng district. Yes. Thank you. So, and yeah, you know, it was such, my God, people say to me, what was it like when you went to China for a month? I mean, I have always wanted to go to China. It's been a dream of mine for many years to go to China. And it just so happened that I met a person here, a person who's studying for his DMA, Doctor of Musical Arts, at NYU. That's a couple of acronyms right there in a row. Anyway, the young man and I had conversations. I taught music and world culture here for many years, and I always had an interest in music of different cultures because these instruments are from different cultures. This is a part of you know, like I said, the geographical aspect of music is that I get to perform on different instruments from around the world. Well, we went to China, and it was, I mean, it was so, not just musically fascinating, but the people were warm and friendly. It was just a beautiful experience, and I was so enlightened to be there. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little while. But the next thing we're going to play for you is a piece that is a bunch of drummers playing a piece that is really like a drum set that's been deconstructed. So a drum set, you know, one person sitting there playing, you know, different drums. And in this piece, the drum set has been deconstructed and turned into like an ensemble piece for like a group of us to play together. So the name of the piece is Fire, and it features Theo, who you already met, Aiden, who you already met, my man Kyle Foster, Anthony Dotro standing behind me, and that's it. And I'm going to play too. So, do you have my snare drum? If you could, that would be great. For my music, I'd so appreciate that. Yeah, so we're going to play this piece for you. It's a very drummy kind of piece, kind of funky, and the students always enjoy playing it. So they said to me, "Can we do Fire?" So I said, "Sure, we'll rock out on Fire. I think this audience will appreciate it." So here we are. Thank you. Here's Fire. Do you know people here? Oh, good. 26, so you have a few more years left. And what's your major?
Elementary education.
Fantastic. Anthony's been with the group now. Is this your third year or second year with the group?
Third one.
This is your third year. Yeah, that's great. So Anthony has been just a huge help to me and a great asset to this ensemble. And Kyle, also freshman. Oh my God, thank you so much. Guys ready? see why the guys wanted to do that so badly. It's so much fun to play for all of us. And, you know, this program does not come together in an hour a week of rehearsal. It's difficult. Some of these students are at school Monday mornings at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we don't start rehearsing until 7:30 at night. And it's not easy. They have to really focus and concentrate, and there's a lot of equipment involved, so it's a very difficult process for them to come together. Hey, you're going to come out here, buddy. Yeah, you're going to come together. So, yeah, see, we're right there, and you'll come all the way over. Okay, get rid of those. Get those 10 together, too. Get rid of those 10 together. Okay? Excuse me, I feel like I'm talking behind your backs, but I just, we're trying to get this thing all set up here. So the next piece is actually written by me. Well, I decided that after going to China and hearing so much music that was percussion related that I couldn't think of a better way. I mean, I took so many pictures, I took so many videos, but what was I going to bring back that could be something that an everlasting effect on my life? And I decided to write a piece based on some of the Chinese percussion that I heard. I heard so many different, not just music, so many different sounds, so many different things that inspired me to write this piece. And I have a list that I wrote down, but I don't need it. Some of the more interesting things about what I heard were chanting, which is not a common thing in this country. And I went to different temples around Beijing, in Xi'an, and Nanjing, where this was a kind of a common thing. We were in the city of Xi'an, and there's a famous Muslim quarter there. And we went to the Great Mosque of Xi'an, and there in the Great Mosque, they were chanting evening prayers. And it had a profound effect on me, because even though I've heard that kind of thing on recording, or you can see it on video, to actually be there and hear people chanting prayers is just a fascinating thing. It also happened to us when we went to the Laozi Temple in Shanghai, and there again, I heard the same kind of thing. We went to the Wild Goose Pagoda in Xi'an, and it's a beautiful, huge structure dedicated, to the emperor's mother, and from Ming Dynasty. And it was just so fascinating because on each of the corners of the building, there are bells hanging. And it's so subtle, but I could hear this like jingling sound in the wind. And you just almost don't notice it, but it's so relaxing to hear that sound and awe-inspiring. And I decided that is something I wanted to simulate those sounds in this piece that I wrote. Also, the idea of chanting, I said, well, we should actually be doing this ourselves in the piece. So you'll hear us chanting and singing in canto, I should say, tonalities that they were just something that I think was so inspiring. I think in the world of percussion, to incorporate that into the piece, it adds a new element of what percussion does, what percussion is. And that's the first movement. It's called Zhongguo, an ancient world. Zhongguo, in case you don't know, means the middle of the earth, or the center of the earth. It is the place that the ancient dynasties believed was the center of the universe. And it's a very old, continual, bureaucratic society. Their language, their money, their customs are very much the same as they were thousands of years ago. Musically, I saw groups perform, young people performing in ensembles that it was fascinating to me, because what to me, what it portrayed was young people connecting to the past, bringing it into the present, this music, all these different drums, and they would ensure, because they were young, that it would continue into the future. So it's a very clever paradigm or model for continuing culture and creating, a continuum in China. You'll see there are a lot of instruments back here that you probably have never seen before. These large drums, these large red drums, are known as dagu, large drum. That drum on the outside there is the flower drum. These are Chinese tom-toms right here. This is tangu right here, and here's another tangu right behind me here. Could someone start the snare drum for me, please? Get rid of this. Yeah, and also the hand. Can someone come get the hand for me? Let's get that out of here. and my chair. Thank you. Yeah, so these instruments are not common. You'll see Angel back there has tuned gongs hanging on a rack. You want to play a little bit, Angel? Just show them what they sound like. So you see the gongs that actually have pitches applied to them. So when I wrote the piece, I tried to make those pitches fit into the character of the piece. Chinese music is basically melodically, and Chinese music, for the most part, does not have a harmonic component to it. They don't have chords in traditional Chinese music. It's based on what we call heterophony, different lines of the same music happening together, and also just single melodies and textures, different kinds of character of sound, like you just heard the tuned gongs, but also, did you play the China cymbal? Very unique sound, not like an American cymbal, or I should say a Turkish cymbal. We also have tempo blocks back there. Your tempo block should be in front of you there. Yes. Bring those out in front of you there. Yes. So that you can play. Yeah. Want to show them what the tempo blocks sound like? Yeah. And that was only 3. There's 2 more left. One of the more fascinating instruments that you will hear are instruments known as Peking gongs, luo, jishi luo. These are gongs from Chinese opera, which is nothing like Western opera. It's more theatrical, it has gymnastic elements, historical elements, and Charlize has 2 of these instruments, and you'll hear they make a very interesting pitch bend. When they're struck, the sound slides up, and one will slide down. Charlize, you want to give them a little taste of that? Yeah, now there's something you don't hear every day. But, again, typically Chinese in character of Chinese music. So, those are some instruments. Did I miss anything really interesting?
Cortales.
Oh, yes. Vito's playing cortales, which are a lot like the Qi cymbals that they use. They use these little gongs, and I watched this performance where they were playing these little gongs, these melodic instruments. You want to just give them an example of what that sounds like? Yeah, it's ethereal. It's just, it's magic. This is the magic of music. So, oh, and I have one thing I want to show you. Does anybody know what this is? Bond, right? So, that's all I do. One of the hardest percussion instruments I've ever had to play. To make this thing not hit twice is just, you know, have you heard me practicing this for hours? Yeah, my wife could tell you, down in the basement, just going click, click, click. But it's very interesting because it punctuates certain parts of the music, and you'll hear me punctuate the xylophone boards. When they sharply hit the xylophone, you'll hear the bond click. Okay. Everybody's good? Okay. Here's the piece I wrote called Zhongguo. It's in 2 parts. Zhongguo, an ancient world, and then Zhongguo. And I dedicated them both to people that are responsible for my going to China. One is my good friend Shiqi Zhong, and the other one is Shanglin Zhao, who teaches at the Central Conservatory in China, percussion. And he is largely responsible for perpetuating the use of Chinese percussion in today's society in China. Okay, hope you like it. Give us a second. It's on. Hello? Good. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, glad you enjoyed that. It was, yeah, it was really something that I wanted to make a very personal attempt to recreate what I saw and heard in China. By the way, one of the most fun times I had in China was when I went to Shanghai. My wife and I were in Shanghai, staying in the Bund district, and on the way into town, I saw this place called Shanghai House of Blues and Jazz. So one night, my wife and I are like, what do you want to do? Well, we'll walk past the House of Blues and Jazz. We walked in, and there was a band there with no drummer, but there were drums up on the stage. So I weaseled my way in, and I said, you guys, you mind if I sit in and I play a song? Yeah, come up and play a song with us. So I got up, I played some, it was so much fun. It was like, I don't know, Stevie Ray Vaughan or some really fun thing. And I said to the guy, well, can I play one more song? And he said, don't leave the stage. It was great. It was so much fun. And I did not, of course, because it was just, it was so great. And the most amazing thing about that is you can't believe how these young people were dancing. It was like being in a jazz club in Harlem in 1945. It was just amazing how beautiful these people were dancing. It was really wonderful. And that's pretty much where we ended our trip, was in Shanghai. And it capped off a musical experience that was just so incredible. So we have one more piece to play for you. And this, again, as I mentioned about our geographic interest with our music, is that we have instruments called djembes and junjuns, and these are from the west coast of Africa. These are instruments that are mostly hand drums, and there are different patterns that each drum gets to play, and we put them together in something called rhythmic polyphony, which means that there are many different rhythms happening at the same time, but they are cohesive, they all fit together. So we put these things together, and then we create a bedrock for soloing, which is what American jazz is all about. This is where the tradition of jazz comes from this ability to improvise over patterns. And the different drums, the drums with the junjuns have bells attached to them, and each drummer plays a different pattern. Now, this is not music that we count off. I don't count 1, 2, 3, 4. That never happens. I give a signal. And when I give this signal on the drum that I play, because I am the master drummer, I give this signal, and all the other drummers know to play a certain pattern or a certain part when they hear this. So I'll give you a little example of that as soon as I get myself settled and get myself a drum. Did you bring me a drum?
I'm working on it, on the drummer.
Thank you. Thank you, Aiden. Yes, so we have these, it's great. These are drums that are made specifically for a school situation like this. They sound great, they're lightweight, and they're easy to learn and to manipulate. So I'm really happy we have them. So anyway, I'm going to turn my back on you guys for a second, and we are going to start with, this is called Makru. It's, again, a West African piece that is it's a dance piece, really. So if you want to get up and dance, feel free. I don't think there's any law here that says you can't dance. Am I right? Sean, Dave, can they dance?
Yes.
Okay, good. It's all good. Okay, thanks. Okay, so it's yeah, we're going to go. Come on. Sit and chair, clap your hands. Okay? If you're happy, you know it, clap your hands. Come on. So, you see, put these drums on like this. The drums consist of basically 3 sounds. The bass sound, a tonal sound, and the slap. So when we solo, or when we play these patterns, we're going to use each one of those voices to create a different pattern, a cohesive pattern. So, for example, here's the first one. If you listen to this, what I'm going to play, they all know what to play when I do this. And they start, right? They will start. And I play this. Right, so as soon as I play, I don't have to count 1, 2, 3, 4. They know what to do because this is a language, okay? So, you guys good? 1, 2, 3, 4. You guys all good? You'll hear my signal on Kean. Here we go. Fernandez, Aiden Horn, Theo Spielman, and the Guggenbach. And we have Angel. And on the Sun Bar, we have Anthony Dojo. And we didn't have any more drums left for Krista and Gio, but they did enough tonight. I think they're good. Once again, Water Rangers Chief James Musto, Professor James Musto, and it has been our pleasure to perform for you. We will come out front and say hello to you, answer any questions, and if you want to just come up here, ask anything, please feel free. But that's our program for this evening. Everyone have a joyous New Year and holiday season, and we will see you again next semester. Thank you.
Okay.